All right, welcome back everyone. Let's jump right into part 2 of our MCQ breakdown. If you're ready to lock in those crucial marks on files and stacks, you're in the right place. And yeah, no warm-up needed for this one. We are diving straight into two topics that can seriously make or break your score. We're zeroing in on file handling and stacks, two areas where if you know the fundamentals, you can just bank those full marks. No problem. Let's get to it. Okay, let's do this. We're starting with the absolute basics of working with files. First up, file modes. You gotta know this stuff. This is the absolute foundation. I mean, if you can't open a file correctly, you can't do anything else, right? Let's test your knowledge. So what does the simple R mode do? Think about it for a sec. The answer is, of course, B, reading only. And the key thing to remember here, R is the default. If you don't even specify a mode, Python assumes this one, and it puts the cursor right at the start of the file. Okay, next up. Which mode lets you add data to the end without accidentally erasing what's already there? The correct answer is C, A for append. Just think of it like this, A for add-on. It's the safest way to add new information, as it automatically jumps to the end of the file for you. Okay, this is a good one. Which of these powerful loads lets you both read and write, starting right from the beginning? The correct choice here is C, R+. Now, this is a really common point of confusion with W+, but here's the key difference. R+ will give you an error if the file doesn't exist, while W+ would just go ahead and create a new blank one. Great start. So, we know how to open files, but what about moving around inside them? That brings us to section 2, navigating with seek and tell. And this slide lays it out perfectly. The way I like to think about it is, seek is like grabbing your mouse and clicking on a new spot in a document. You're moving. Tell is just looking at the cursor and asking, hey, where am I right now? One moves, the other reports. It's that simple. So based on that, which of these functions actually changes the pointer's position? Yep, it's C, seek. Remember, tell just reports the position, it doesn't move a thing. Alright, syntax can be a pain, I know, but which one of these is the right way to call seeking? The correct answer is A. The most important thing to notice here is that file object dot at the very beginning. Seeking is a method, right? So you have to tell Python which file you're working with. Okay, let's break this one down. What does fh.seek -32 actually do? The answer here is B. So let's look at why. That second number, the 2, is our reference point, and it means start at the end of the file. From there, the first number, -30, tells Python to go backwards 30 bytes. Simple when you break it down. Excellent work. Let's level up now from simple text to structured data. In this section, we're going to tackle two super important modules, Pickle for Python-specific binary files, and CSV for that universal spreadsheet-style data. This one looks super specific, but it's really important. When you're writing a CSV file, why on earth do you add newline equals quote? The answer is C. And here's the simple reason. Different operating systems, like Windows and macOS, handle line endings differently. This little argument basically tells Python, hey, don't try to be clever, just let the CSV module handle it. And that prevents those weird extra blank rows you sometimes see. Okay, you have a Python object, maybe a list or a dictionary, and you want to save it to a file. What do you call that process of converting into a byte stream? That process is called pickling. You might also hear it called serialization. It's the same idea. It's how you save those complex Python data structures. So when you use csv.reader, what are you actually getting back? The correct answer is C, an iterator. And this is so important because it's the smart way to handle files. Instead of loading a potentially massive file all into memory at once, an iterator just goes line by line, which saves you a ton of memory and time. Alright, we are on the home stretch. For our final section, we're going to challenge your knowledge on a fundamental data structure, the stack. Let's do this. Okay, before we even look at the questions, just soak this slide in. This is the whole game right here. Remember the principle. LIFO, last in, first out. The last thing you put on the stack is always the first thing that comes off. Burn that into your brain. So with that in mind, what is that fundamental principle of a stack? As we just saw, it's gotta be BIFO, last in, first out. Think of a stack of plates. You put one on top. That's the first one you're gonna take off. Simple. Now, when you're actually building a stack using a simple Python list, which method do you use for a push operation? The correct choice is D, append. Why? Because it adds the new element to the very end of the list, which acts as the top of our stack. Perfect! Okay, so if append is how we push, how do we pop? Well, the method is right there in the name. It's pop function. By default, the list's pop method removes and gives you back the last item, which is exactly what a pop operation on a LIFO stack is supposed to do. And just like that, files and stacks are done. You've just blasted their 12 crucial MCQs covering file modes, navigation, specialized modules, and the core principles of stacks. Fantastic work, seriously. I really hope this rapid-fire session helped lock in these concepts for you. Don't lose momentum. See you in the final part 3 for networks and SQL. Keep up the amazing work.